What started as a quiet murmur around the driving range has now erupted into a full-on roar, echoing through the world of professional golf. Charlie Woods, once seen as just the wide-eyed kid trailing behind Tiger at the PNC, has officially rewritten the script. His win at the Team Taylor-Made Invitational, his first American Junior Golf Association title, wasn't just a milestone. It was a message of final round 6 under 66 doesn't happen by accident, especially not in a field stacked with some of the highest rated junior talents in the country. This wasn't a fluke. It wasn't a feel-good story. It was a warning. In the hours that followed, the headlines didn't hesitate. NBC Sports, ESPN Golf, come all running the same core narrative. Charlie Woods didn't just show up, he delivered. Within 24 hours, social media lit up. PGA pros weighed in, commentators scrambled for sound bites. Suddenly, clips of Charlie's wing were everywhere. Well, slowed down, broken down compared to Tiger's. But now, with something different in the air, respect. Yes, he carries the Woods name. Yes, the expectations are baked into every shot he takes. But this performance, this win wasn't about genetics or legacy. It was about execution precision, poise under pressure that you don't fake, and certainly don't teach. The kid didn't just make birdies, he held off some of the most competitive junior golfers on the circuit. That alone flips the conversation. This wasn't background noise anymore. This was the headline, and the golf world took notice because, frankly, it had no choice. When a teenager with that last name steps out of the shadows and beats a field of killers with nothing but shot-making and steel nerves, people stop scrolling, they start watching. And from that moment on, Charlie Woods wasn't just Tiger's son, he was Thestory. It didn't take long after Charlie Woods' AJGA victory for the professional golf world to start weighing in. And when they did, it wasn't in polite, reserved tones, it was real. It was pointed, and it was loud. You expect a bit of noise when Tiger Woods' son does something noteworthy. But this wasn't just media chatter or recycled praise. These were tour veterans, major winners, giving genuine credit to a kid who, until recently, was mostly known for walking fairways beside his dad. Justin Thomas, someone who shared plenty of rounds with the Woods family, didn't sugarcoat it. He's got great tempo and he's tough mentally. He told reporters after a round of his own, he doesn't just play the game, he understands it. That's rare. For a player who's competed with the best and seen what true competitive fire looks like, that kind of endorsement means something, and Thomas isn't one to hand out compliments just for the cameras. Rory Roy, often measured in his praise, was just as direct. Not just a name, he knows how to compete, he said during an interview on the Golf Channel. You could hear the tone shift from curiosity to respect. It was no longer about the novelty of Tiger's son playing in tournaments. It was about Charlie being aerial contender in his own right. That distinction matters. It's what turns headlines into long-term expectations. Even Jordan Spieth, reflecting on his own early days, saw something familiar. "Hair reminds me of myself. When I was a teenager," he said. During the PNC Championship, the confidence, the focus, it's not forced, it's natural. Coming from a player who took the PGA Tour by storm before he could legally rent a car. That comparison isn't casual, it's telling. These weren't off-the-cuff compliments or media sound bites thrown out for clicks. They were honest reactions from players who know what greatness looks like, and more importantly, what it feels like to be around it. In a world where hype can be manufactured overnight, what these pros said carried real weight. Because when names like Thomas Roy and Spieth start talking like that, you realize Charlie Woods isn't just being watched. He's being measured. A 6 under 66 sounds impressive on paper, but it's how Charlie Woods got there that made the golf world stop what it was doing. This wasn't some hot streak or a front and a fluke. It was calculated, patient, and at times ice cold. The kind of round you expect from a seasoned tour player grinding on Sunday, not a teenager with the weight of the Woods name on his shoulders. He wasn't out there spraying miracle shots or getting lucky bounces. He was stringing together smart golf hole after hole like he'd done it 1,000 times before. What really stood out were those final 9 holes. That's where the pressure usually gets to kids his age. The leaderboard tightens, the cameras start to follow, and every tee shot starts to feel like a test. But Charlie, he didn't blink. 3 birdies on the back, including a dart on 16 that left him. A tap-in wasn't just clutch, so it was ruthless. There was no panic, No overreaction, just a clear plan and total commitment to every shot. For those watching closely, it didn't look like he was chasing a win. It looked like he knew it was already his max. Homa was one of the first pros to take notice. He jumped on Twitter the same day, praising Charlie's tempo and poise, even calling out the balance in his swing and the maturity in his club selection. Coming from a guy who's built a reputation on ball striking. And self-awareness that wasn't empty praise. It was a tip of the cap from one technician to another. What took people, though, wasn't just that. Charlie pulled off a low round. It was how smooth it looked. There was no sense of overexertion, no wide-eyed energy, no fluky putts from downtown, just pure, repeatable, confident golf. The kind of round where you forget you're watching a kid until the scorecard slaps you back into reality. It's in rounds like this that potential becomes something else polish. And that's exactly what everyone saw that day. Not a glimpse of what might be, but a preview of what's coming. 4 years. Charlie Woods walked in the shadow of the biggest name the sport has ever known. It was inevitable. From the first time he teed it up in public, cameras where zoomed-in comparisons were loaded, and the headlines all read the same, Tiger's son. Every swing, every fist, pump, every glance was dissected through thelons of legacy, but lately something's shifted. The conversation is no longer about who is father is, it's about who Charlie is becoming and how fast he's getting there. The temptation for fans and media has always been to label him a mini Tiger. But those who've watched him closely, really watched him, will tell you. Charlie doesn't play like Tiger, he doesn't even try to. His swing isn't a carbon copy. His demeanor is cooler, more measured, and his course managemental. Reddy shows a maturity that's more self-made than inherited. Coaches from Golf Channel broadcasts have pointed out the nuance. In his approach, the way he shapes shots based on conditions, not ego, he isn't trying to be the second coming of anything, he's trying to win golf tournaments his way golf. Analysts have gone a step further, saying what others have been whispering Charlie. Woods is carving out a new identity, one that stands up on its own. There's still that Woods DNA, the killer instinct, the competitive fire. But it's wrapped in something more deliberate, more composed. The flash is there when he needs it, but he's not swinging for viral clips, he's swinging for trophies, and now the pros are picking up on it that they're not just seeing the son of a 15-time major champion. They're seeing a real threat. Someone who skipped the awkward learning curve and stepped straight into the spotlight with a game that demands attention. Charlie Woods may always carry the name, but the conversation is no longer about Tiger. It's about the kid standing beside him, writing his own story and forcing everyone to pay attention. There's a different energy. Now when Charlie Woods tees it up, it's not just about watching a famous last name go through the motions. It's about watching someone knock on the door of the next level and maybe getting ready to kick it down. What was unseen as a long-term project is suddenly becoming a short-term problem for the rest of the field, and you can feel it quietly, subtly, but it's there, that edge of tension. When his name gets brought up in locker rooms, on range walks, and interviews, because the future isn't just on the way it might already be here. Charlie isn't just playing great junior golf. Cool. He's playing meaningful golf. Golf that gets the attention of sponsors, selectors, and yes, even other players. There are whispers about potential exemptions. There are rumors about junior team events. There are corporate eyes already imagining him in commercials and branded bags, and there is in those conversations are even happening simple. He looks ready. Maybe not for Augusta, but ready to matter. What makes this moment different isn't just the buzz, it's how the pros are reacting to it. They're not rolling their eyes or brushing it off as media hype. They're paying attention, because somewhere deep down they remember what it felt like to be that kid. The one who didn't know limits yet, the one who didn't care who was in the field, just who was in his way. And they also remember what it felt like when a kid like that started showing up in their pairings. This isn't just admiration anymore. It's awareness and maybe even pressure. Because if Charlie keeps this pace, keeps showing up like this, he won't be part of the next generation. He'll be pushing the current one. And when veterans start watching their back, that's when the game really changes. Do you think Charlie Woods is the real deal or just a legacy name riding momentum? Let us know in the comments.